Dear students, in the last class we discussed about properties of charges, what is meant by charge and how to charge a body, all those factors we have done. So as we know the properties of charges, one property if I take, like charges repel each other and unlike charges attract each other. Means there must be some force, with some force they are going to repel or attract. Now what is the force value? That expression we need to see, that is given by the scientist what we call Coulomb. The scientist name is what? Coulomb. Coulomb is a scientist. He has given description about how much force they will exert each other. Okay, so according to the Coulomb states that the force of attraction or repulsion. Why we need to say attraction or repulsion? Because if you take two positive charges or two negative charges, they repel each other. But if you take one positive and one negative, what will happen? They will attract each other with some force. That's the reason in the statement general way we say attraction or repulsion between any two charges at rest. So sir, what will happen if they are moving? If they are moving, they will produce magnetic field along with electric field, then the force will be different. That's the reason at rest is very important. Okay, so force of attraction or repulsion between any two charges at rest is directly proportional to what now? Product of magnitude of the two charges. Okay, and inversely proportional to what now? Inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. Okay, this is what Coulomb's law states. So if I write this Coulomb's law in a mathematical format, so consider what now? Two charges. Let me consider here one charge. So let me call this charge what now? Q1. There is a one more charge I am going to consider here, charge how much? Q2, and these two are separated by some distance, let me call R. Okay, so now we are doing the complete experiment in what now? In air or vacuum. So that medium, there is no other medium, only what medium is there? We imagine only air medium is there or vacuum medium is there. Then as per the statement, the force F is then, that force F is proportional to what now? Product of what now? Magnitude of two charges. So I'll write like this, magnitude of Q1 and Q2. Okay, and again one more thing is there. So one more thing is what now? One more statement means after that there is one more point is there, no? That is what? Inversely proportional to what now? The square of the distance between them. How much distance we have taken? R. Then I'll write 1 by R square. So now combining these two equations, so I can write like this now, force F, that is proportional to magnitude of the two charges Q1 and Q2, that is the product of those two, divided by distance between them as R square. So now I need to remove the proportionality constant here. I will put a constant value, that is F, that is equal to K naught into Q1 Q2 by R square. So each and every time I will not write this magnitude. It is understood that it is a magnitude only. We should take what now? Only the magnitude value we should take. Even it is positive or negative, we should take what now? Only magnitude. Okay, now what is the value of this K naught? That we need to see. The K naught value is found to be from the experimentation. So it is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So that is the value of K naught. Okay, so here 4 pi is a constant, sometimes we call it as a solid angle. So epsilon naught is there, no? Epsilon naught is what we call permittivity of free space. What we call epsilon naught? Epsilon naught is what we call permittivity of free space. Okay, its value is found to be how much, you know? Its value of epsilon naught is 8.8542 into 10 power minus 12. Now we need to write the unit. So many students will get confusion while writing the units. Simple trick I'll tell you. See, as we insert this value here, so epsilon in the denominator. So take that epsilon this side. Okay, so let me show you so that you will understand better way. Yeah, so as we insert the value of K naught, the formula become what now? formula become F that is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 Q2 by R square. That is again what now? Magnitude value. See here, we need to find the value of what now? Epsilon naught. Means we know the value, that is a standard value for air or vacuum, and we need to find the unit. So finding the unit is very simple trick. Means for any equations that you take, if you don't know the unit, do this technique, it will be helping you a lot. Okay, so epsilon naught, we need to find the unit of epsilon naught. Now take it to the what now? The left hand side. So I can write like this now: epsilon naught is equal to 1 by 4 pi f into q1 q2 by r square. So now insert the value units of all these quantities. Now 4 pi is what now? Here constant quantity. Force F means force, unit is what now? Newton. So it is become 1 by Newton into Q1 Q2 charges. So for Q1 coulomb and Q2 also coulomb, this will become coulomb square, divided by distance is measured in meter, so it is r square is there, meter square. So what is the unit of epsilon naught now? Epsilon naught unit is coulomb square per Newton per meter square. So I can write epsilon naught value is 8.854 into 10 power minus what now? Minus 12. Unit is coulomb square per Newton per meter square. So that is a value of what now? Epsilon naught. Okay, sometimes we do mistakes while writing an examination. Some students will write like this. They will write like what now? Epsilon naught as E naught like this. Student, this is a wrong way. You are not supposed to write like this. Okay, you should write like this only, epsilon, like this only. You should write epsilon naught. Okay, so this is what now about Coulomb's law, statement and mathematical explanation. So here epsilon naught is what we call permittivity of free space. Okay, its value is found to be how much now? 8.854 into 10 power minus 12 coulomb square per Newton per meter square. Okay, so here then the question will be asked to you, that is define 1 coulomb. What is the definition of 1 coulomb? Okay, that also we need to know. So here, in order to find the definition of 1 coulomb, let me assign values now. So in this equation, if q1 that is equal to q2 that is equal to 1 coulomb, means both the charges how much will take now? 1 coulomb we take. So let us assume now they are separated by a distance of how much now? Distance of what? 1 meter. So since we are discussing a SI system of unit, right? So we take 1 meter. Okay, then as we know the values, so now we need to put the values here. So before putting the value, one more thing I need to make clarification. That one more clarification is what now? If you look at this quantity, what quantity? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So in this epsilon naught value we know, 4 pi is a constant. So can you find this entire value? Okay, if this we have taken an entire value of this, it will become how much now? The 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, its entire value become 9 into 10 power 9. Okay, unit is what now? Newton meter square per coulomb square. This entire value what now? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Since 4 pi is a constant, permittivity of free space, because we are doing in an air medium, that is also constant quantity. So simplify this, you will get this value. So now if you use this formula to find what now? 1 coulomb, then put these values. Then F is how much now? We need to find out. Means how much force they are going to experience. We need to find out now. Then F is equal to, this value is 9 into 10 power 9. So 9 into 10 power 9 into Q1 Q2, that is 1 coulomb and 1 coulomb, this is 1. Okay, divided by distance is 1 meter. So now it will become 1. So force become how much now? 9 into 10 power 9 Newton. Okay, so from this conclusion what we can say, when the charge is said to be 1 coulomb, then we can say when two charges that when placed at a distance of 1 meter, how much? 1 meter, then they need to experience a force of how much now? 9 into 10 power 9 Newton. Then the charge is said to be what now? 1 coulomb. Okay, so that is the definition of 1 coulomb. In this way we are going to arrive. So here one more thing we need to remember while writing these equations. Okay, so you may get one more doubt too. The doubt is force is a scalar or vector quantity. So of course it's a vector quantity. Now what we need to do? So we need to put now vector notation also we need to put. So then how can we do that one, sir? Okay, so that we do later. So before going to the vector form, so let us go for limitations of Coulomb's law. Means the question is where we cannot apply Coulomb's law. That also you should write merits and demerits, both you should know. Okay, so since as the statement says, a discussion about what now? Only stationary charges. So means one thing you can guess, children, if a charge is moving we cannot apply what now? Coulomb's law. Okay, so that we move on now. So next thing is what we move on, limitations of Coulomb's law. So what are limitations of Coulomb's law? So first is valid for point charges. Okay, so now sir, if it is a bigger charge, what will happen? There is an induction process. What now? Induction. Due to induction, what will happen? So the force between two charges will be different than point two charges. That's the reason. So only for point charges we can apply. The question will arise, what is point charge? The charge dimension is too much small as compared to what it is. It's a distance of measurement. That type of charge is what we call point charge. Second thing, so valid only for what now? Static charges. Okay, so why it is only for static charges? What will happen when the charge is moving? When the charge is moving, addition to the electric field, there is a magnetic field. So addition to electric force, there will be a magnetic force also. Okay, that is the case. So again we cannot apply Coulomb's law. Okay, so these are the two limitations of Coulomb's law where we cannot apply. Okay, so next, since force what we discussed, that is a vector quantity, so let us indicate this Coulomb's law in vector notation. Okay, next topic is what, children? That is Coulomb's law in vector form. Okay, that is Coulomb's law in what form? Vector form, that we are going to discuss now. Okay, in order to discuss Coulomb's law in vector form, let us consider two charges. Simple way, let us consider two charges. Charge is what here now? Q1. Charge is what here now? Q2. These are two charges we considered now. Okay, let us take an origin somewhere here. Let me call this as what now? O. Okay, let me indicate the position vector for charge 1 and charge 2. Let me give some location for this as A and B. So what is position vector? The vector representing the location of any body or object from its origin is what we call position vector. So here the position vector for what now? For charge Q2 is taken as what now? R2. From here to here we take it as what now? R2 vector. And for Q1 is what now? Q1 is R1 vector. Then distance between Q1 and Q2 is what now? This is what we call R21. Again from the triangle law of addition of vectors we are going to apply here. So let us do now. So since we are representing the vector form, so as we know, so charge Q1 is going to exert some force on Q2. So let me indicate that one by like this: force on 1, that is Q1, due to what now? Due to second charge. So I'll write here force on Q1 due to Q2, second, force on 1 due to 2. So that is given by the formula, that is a vector quantity. So we indicate arrow mark above it, that is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Again why epsilon naught? We are doing for the in the air medium. Okay, multiplied by magnitude of charges Q1 and Q2 divided by R12 square into, we need to indicate a direction, right? R12 cap. Okay, as we know, in the case of first years, vectors r cap is indicating a unit vector, that is a direction vector, from where to where. R1 to indicate distance from where to where, 2 to 1. Okay, so here R12 indicating, R12 cap indicating direction from, not R2 to 1, it is R12 cap indicating direction from where to where now, 2 to 1. So Q2 to Q1, that is what now, that is the first thing. Okay, similarly, so what will happen, there is a second charge, this will also exert some force on this one. So see here, in this equation, the 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r12 square representing the magnitude and multiplied by the direction vector. So magnitude multiplied by direction will give us vector quantity, so I wrote F vector. Similarly, now I will go for next thing. Similarly, force on what now, second charge due to first one is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r21 square into r21 cap, where r21 is what now, direction from 1 to 2 now it is. Okay, r21 is indicating what now, r21 cap is indicating direction from q1 to q2. Okay, q1 to q2, so that is what we call r21. So from this what we can understand, let us look at the diagram now. There is a one charge here, there is a one more charge here. Okay, so now first thing, r21 is indicating what now, r21 is direction from where to where, 1 to 2, direction from 1 to 2. So it will be in what direction now, it will be in this direction. So similarly, r12 is done, r21 is done, r12 is what direction now, r12 will be in this direction, that is r12 means distance from 2 to 1. So from this diagram what we can write now, from this diagram I can write as r21 vector r cap, that is equal to what now, r12. Yes or no, we can write or not. So okay, if I take the vectors, that is, but then in what direction, these two are in opposite direction, so I take negative sign. So now look at here, from equation 1, let me call this equation 1, let me call this as equation number 2. Okay, so from equation 1 and 2, in the place of r21, can we replace r12 minus in the case of equation number 2? Okay, if you replace, now let us see what will happen now if you replace like that. So let us look at this term now, what will happen if you replace in the case of what now, r21 in second equation by minus r21, it will become what now, f21 vector, that is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q1 q2 by, look at now, r21 is there, we replace by r12, here square is there, so this negative become positive, it will become what now, just r12 square into r21 is there, become minus r12 cap. So this minus and I'll take this side, it will become what now, minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 divided by r12 square into r12 cap. Now look at the equation number 1, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r12 square into r12 cap. Can we replace this entire thing by f12? Yes, this entire thing by f12. So it will become what now, simply, okay, I will write here now. So f21 vector, that is equal to minus, because there is a minus here, and this entire thing is what we call f12, so f12 vector. So from this what conclusion we can draw? It is in accordance with Newton's third law. means force exerted on first charge due to second charge is equal and in opposite by the second charge will exert on first charge. So both are equal and opposite, that is, it is going to satisfy Newton's third law of motion. So this is vector form of Coulomb's law. In the examination, if they ask you just mention vector form, mention equation 1, either 1 or 2. So they will never ask you explanation, but you should know. So sometimes they will ask you whether it is going to satisfy Newton's third law of motion or not. Like that cases, you should know, yes, it is going to satisfy. How you can prove it? Like this. Okay. So this is about vector form of Coulomb's law. Till now we have taken this Coulomb's law in air or vacuum. Now let us see what will happen in other medium. Yes or no? Because in reality there are so many charges we need to find in different medium, because even we cannot be in a vacuum. Okay, so that's the reason. So let us introduce what will happen in the case of apart from air or vacuum. To discuss, there is one more topic I took here, that is permittivity of the medium. Okay, now the question is, sir, what is meant by this permittivity? Okay, how to indicate this? We are going to indicate by epsilon. Okay, we are going to indicate by what now? Epsilon. The permittivity is the property of the medium. So it is what now? Intrinsic property of the medium which influence the force between two charges. Okay, so this medium, what it will do, it will influence the force between two charges. How it is going to influence? Let us do one small calculation so that you will get to know simple way. Okay, so as we know already, so if you keep two charges, let me take charge here q1 and charge here now q2. So distance between them is how much now? R. In which medium? Air medium. Okay, so in this case what will happen? Force, that force let me take, that is F naught. F naught nothing but air or vacuum, that is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q1 q2 by distance r square. Now take this one to some medium. Okay, there is some medium we are going to take into where now? Medium. So we are going to keep in some medium. That medium permittivity is how much? Epsilon. Initially air medium permittivity is how much? Epsilon naught. So we have taken to some other medium, its permittivity we don't know exactly, so we take epsilon value. Okay, again distance between them is how? Same distance. Then the new force F in M. M stands for in some other medium, where we kept some other medium. It may be water medium, it may be any other medium that you are going to use. Then the force is given by the formula as 1 by 4 pi. Here initially we kept in air medium, so we took epsilon naught. Now we are going to keep in some other medium, so its medium permittivity is how much? Epsilon. So we take now what? Epsilon into q1 q2 by r square. Now let me take equation number 1, equation number 2. So from equation 1 and 2, so we are going to do now, we are going to divide equation 1 and 2. So if you divide equation 1 and 2, let us see now what we are going to get. Here we are going to take now equation 1 divided by equation number 2. Okay, equation 1 is F naught, that is F naught by F in medium. Straight away you can cancel some terms here. Okay, no need to do this calculation because 1 by 4 pi is common. Here also we can cancel this one. q1 q2 is constant, q1 q2 is constant, same here or here, we can cancel. R is also same thing, we can straight away cancel. So what is left now? So here 1 by epsilon naught is left, divided by, in this 1 by epsilon is left. So if you simplify, this will become 1 by epsilon naught into epsilon by 1. Yes or no? So this we can write as epsilon by epsilon naught. So what we got? Permittivity of the medium to permittivity of free space. This we call one more term as epsilon r, that is relative permittivity or some people will call K as a dielectric constant. Okay, let me write these names so that it will be easy for you to remember. Here, what is epsilon now? Epsilon is permittivity of medium. Of medium. So what is epsilon naught? Permittivity of free space. Of free space, or you can say air or vacuum. So here epsilon r, this is also called as K. What we call this one as relative permittivity. Or one more name is there, we call dielectric constant. So now what is dielectric constant or relative permittivity? It is the ratio of permittivity of the medium to permittivity of what now? Free space. Okay, so the value of K or permittivity means relative permittivity, so that is different for different medium. Okay, so if you take an air or vacuum, so for vacuum this is about K equal to 1. Okay, if you take a conductors like metals, so it is for what now? Air. Now for metals, if you take for metals, so K is how much? Infinity. Okay, for water how much, sir? For water is about K is 80. Sir, what is the unit for this? No unit, because look at here, it is a ratio of same type of quantities, right? Permittivity and permittivity, but it is a different thing. It is for a medium, it is for air, but since it is same type ratio of same type of quantities, so there is no unit for this. It is a number, it is just a constant value. Okay, so this is about what now? Permittivity of free space, permittivity of the medium, and relative permittivity. Okay, this is about what now? Here medium, how it is going to influence. So one understanding conclusion we can draw here. One conclusion is what now? Say always look at here in this equation also, F naught proportional to what? 1 by epsilon naught. F in medium proportional to what? 1 by epsilon. Meaning is what now? Here the thing we need to understand, it is inversely proportional, means as you keep on keeping in a higher medium, the force go on decreases. Okay, means I can understand the maximum force is where now? In air medium. For air medium, force is maximum, air or vacuum. So if any other medium if you take, this force always less than air or vacuum, because here you can understand force is proportional to 1 by epsilon. Okay, so is it clear? So that's the one more thing. So from this equation we can write one more way, what we can write. So since we got to know epsilon by epsilon naught, that is equal to epsilon r, so this I can write like this also, permittivity of the medium, that is equal to epsilon naught into epsilon r. So this I can write like this, epsilon naught into K also. Okay, that is also we can write. So this is about permittivity of the medium. Okay, so here one more point we need to remember. Let me go for a note, because if you taken two charges, complete charges are completely it is in the medium, then no issues, we can put directly this formula, we can do it. But there is here one question is there, that question I need to discuss. Okay, let me go for a note now. For that we go for what now? We go for a note. So what note we can do now? Here I'll take two cases to make you clear about the concept. The two cases is what? We take two charges. Okay, we take two charges q1 and q2. So we are going to take what charges now? Q1 and q2. We are going to take these two charges. So if the force between two charges in different medium is same for different separation, like the case we take now, means what I want to say is, okay, there are two charges, the force between them in a different medium is same for different separation. Okay, so let me write that one so that you will get to know properly. If the force between two charges in two different medium is the same for different distance. Okay, in that case what will happen? So force is remains same, so I can write force in first medium that is equal to force in second medium, but what separation? Difference of a separation. So I can take here now, this is for what? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into k1. Why it is k1 for first medium? Because as we done here already, epsilon naught into k1. Okay, this is actually epsilon, so it has become epsilon naught into k1. So into its value q1 q2 separation, let us take r1 square, that is equal to, so here again this will become 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, so this is k2 some second medium into q1 q2 by r2 square. Now what is going to cancel now, children? Here the things are going to cancel, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught and 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, q1 q2 q1 q2. So here I can write like this now as r1 square k1 that is equal to r2 square k2. Okay, imagine if r1 is first medium, that is air medium. Okay, if it is an air medium, then what will happen for air medium? Okay, for air medium, first initially we kept r1. If r1 is equal to r0 means air medium, then k1 become what? K1 become 1 for air medium. Okay, for some other medium, let me take r2 is just as what now, r, and k2 is just, we don't know value, let me take it as k. Okay, then what will happen here? Look at this equation now. r1 become r0, r0 square, k1 has become 1, that is equal to r2 has become r square into k2 as k. So from this we can see here r0 square that is equal to, not r0 square, r0 equal to square root of k into r, because square is going to cancel. Or we can write in this way, distance in any medium that is equal to distance in what? Air medium divided by root k. So this is a one more conclusion you should know. Okay, so from this understanding of this one, let us go for next thing. The next thing is simple way. So here we take two charges now. What we do now, we take two charges q1 and q2. Now they are not completely in air or vacuum, so some part is in air medium, and in between these two now we are going to introduce a material here. This is material of what now? Dielectric constant k. This material dielectric constant how much now? K. So now this thickness is, let me take this thickness is how much now? R. Okay, initial distance between these two is how much we take now? R0. Now what is the force between these two? Okay, if it is completely covered medium, we can write just simply what now? It is k times. Now it is partially covered. So in this case what we need to do? Let us look at now in this case what will happen. So as we know force, how much force? Force that is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. That is for now for air medium. Okay, multiplied by charge remains same, that is q1 and q2. Okay, because if you keep in any medium the charge values remain same, it is not going to change, But now what is going to change? Distance. Initial distance means the air distance is how much? Distance from this point to this point, and again from this point to this point. So this will be taken as what now? R naught minus R. So I'll take it as what now? R naught minus R plus, so this distance we need to take, right? So this distance is how much now? Look at here what we've done. Here R equal to what now? It will become R naught by root K. Means in air medium R naught become what now? R times of root K. R is what now? Thickness. Yes or no, children? It will become what now? This will become as R into root K, and since in a statement there is a square, there is a square. Okay, so this is a very important thing you need to understand, because the distance in air medium and the distance in air medium, this is equivalent to what? R times of root K. Okay, so this formula you need to use when you find a numerical if the medium between two what now? Two charges partially covered. In that case you need to use this formula. Okay, this is one thing you need to remember. Okay, this is about what now? Coulomb's law, vector form, and about the permittivity of the medium. Okay, and then so there are different cases like when half completely covered, when partially covered. So this formula you are going to make use in order to find what now? In order to find the value of force between two charges. Okay, let us see what will happen to the force if there is more than one charge. So we have taken only two charges till now. If there is more than two charges, what will happen? We need to see that we discuss force due to multiple charges. This is what we call principle of superposition. Okay, according to the principle of superposition, the resultant force on any point charge, okay, on any point charge due to number of other charges, you can take any number of charges, is what type of sum it is? Vector sum. Vector sum of all the forces on that charge due to the other charge, but you should take one at a time. So one at a time. So that is what we call, this is superposition principle. So let us give an expression for this, you can understand. So let us consider a charge here. So let me consider this charge as just Q naught. Okay, let me consider this charge is what now? Q naught. So or just we can take it as Q, simple way. Now I need to find the force on this due to multiple charges. Consider some charges. There is a one charge here, Q1. It is at a distance of how much now? Distance of R1. Okay, so let us consider there is a one more charge, Q2. It has distance of how much now? R2. There is a one more charge you can consider. Distance of how much now? R3. That is what now? Q3. Like you can take so many charges. Okay. Now force between Q and Q1 is how much? Force between Q and Q1, let me call for F1, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q Q1 by distance is R1 we took, so it will become R1 square. Okay, again here where we are doing, in what medium it is? Air medium. See, epsilon naught we have taken. Similarly, force between second and Q, so it will become what now? F2, that is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q Q2 by R2 square. Okay, so like this for nth charge, that is Fn, that is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q Qn by Rn square. So now the statement says what sum we should do? Vector sum. Then the total force acting, that is F vector on Q charge, is equal to F1 vector plus F2 vector plus F3 vector plus so on plus Fn vector. So that is the total force. So this I can write summation over Fn vector, where n value varies from where to where? 1 to n. Okay, so this is superposition principle. So like this we can put these values here and we can simplify the q1 value, q2 value, q3 value, but the condition is we need to add them vectorially by taking exact directions. Okay, so this is about Coulomb's law, means where we apply for multiple charges. Okay students, so this is about the class about we learned today. So Coulomb's law, statement, mathematical proof, and Coulomb's law in vector form, limitations of Coulomb's law, and then we have learnt about the medium. In different medium what will happen, and then we learnt a special case, that is one half partially covered medium is there. In that case how much is the force? Okay, how to calculate the force, how much force will act on a body, means two charges. And then in the case of superposition principle we learnt about how to add the force using vector addition. Okay students, so this is about the class. So in next class we discuss a numerical related to Coulomb's law that appeared in the JEE mains and some other competitive examinations. Okay, thank you children, thank you so much.